Hey, today's a dissertation diary because I realized I have not been updating on dissertation stuff because I kind of got like thrown in the throes of internship applications. But a lot has happened since my last dissertation diary. So let's get into it. So in my last dissertation diary, I think it was in September, so it's been a bit, but I was basically talking about how frustrating things are, especially with getting the proposal together, like the written proposal, and then being able to actually propose it to my committee. And at that time, I was still a little frustrated because I wanted to propose my dissertation before my internship applications were due, because there were some sites that I wanted to apply to that require you to propose before the application deadline. Most places require you to propose before you start an internship, but some of the more competitive ones want you to do it before you even submit your application. The good news is I did do that. So I proposed about a week or two before my earliest applications were due, and it was really great. The feedback was overwhelmingly good. There were some edits, but they were all very much like, take it or leave it. This doesn't need to change for you to move forward, which was really great. So I kind of took in some of their feedback, strengthened my lit review, included some citations that I wasn't aware of that are in different fields that would really strengthen my argument. So it was really great. And so in that time, in the, 9 months since my last dissertation diary, I have proposed my dissertation. So I did that at the end of October. I submitted my IRB in November. They pretty much approved my study over the weekend, it seemed. I'm pretty sure I submitted it on a Friday, and by either Monday or Tuesday they were like, you got it, which is really great. And pro tip for when you're working on your dissertation proposal, as you're going through, make sure all of the things that you would need for your IRB, set everything up so that once you have your proposal defense and you're ready to submit the IRB, you can just do it. So some people I know will write the proposal, they'll propose, and then they'll start working on IRB stuff. I say do the IRB stuff with your writing of your proposal. One, it'll go hand in hand because a lot of the information you need to put in the IRB application, but it saves you the hassle of like getting off of track once you're actually ready to go. So that was great. And then I started recruiting in December. My recruitment went a little slow. I ended up using Qualtrics, which I knew I was going to use Qualtrics anyway, but the way that it's set up, my dissertation it's a mixed methods waitlist control study. So basically I have two groups. I have a treatment group and I have my waitlist control group. And the way I wanted to do my recruitment was to do a screening survey one to see who's eligible. And then based on that, I would have the eligible people move forward. They would get the full consent, and they did the full pre-survey. Because I used Qualtrics and because I have funding and was offering money, I got a lot of bots. So I was only looking for like 20 people because this is a pilot, but I got over 100 responses, which at first sounds like, wow, what a great problem to have. No, a lot of those responses were bots. They were flagged by Qualtrics. Some of them, they weren't flagged by Qualtrics, but some of them looked like they came from like people submitting multiple responses. So going through all of that, trying to figure out who were real people, who were not duplicate people, was so stressful. And I know it's because I said you could earn up to this much money in my study. As soon as you say you can earn money in my study and you provide the link, the bots are coming through. They are coming through. They are taking all of your time, and I spent so much time going through that data that I didn't end up starting my parenting group until like mid-April, and the goal was to start in March. But I spent so much time just trying to get around all of these like fake people or, you know, fake responses, that it took so much time. So advice, if you are going to recruit widely online, maybe don't provide the link. If you're providing incentives, make people reach out to you, even though I do think that makes it probably takes a while for people to reach out, but then you don't have to go through a bunch of bots, maybe not as much. The other thing is, maybe don't collect your data for your dissertation. I'm really enjoying my study and I'm glad that I'm doing it, but if I were to do it again, I would probably use like an extent data set or like survey data, because I am doing survey data, but I'm also providing an intervention. So even after I got the people that I needed, I then had to deliver the intervention and then collect more data. So I'm doing a pre-post 1 month follow-up, and that takes so much time. The intervention itself is 6 weeks, so there's 6 weeks in between those things, and I'm just, the day that I'm recording this is the first day in probably 2 months. It's the first Sunday where I have not had anything to do related to my dissertation. This video is the only thing I'm doing related to my dissertation today, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't feel like dissertation work because I volunteered to do this. I'm doing it on my own time because I want to, but it takes up a lot of time. And so now that the treatment group is done, I'm currently collecting post-survey data, and then I still have to collect the 1 month follow-up data in 4 weeks. And then the qualitative part are the interviews with the parents who were in the study. So I'm still just like in the middle of a lot of things, and it's just a lot, and trying to do this while also trying to plan a move for my internship, where I still haven't found a place to live, which is very frustrating because I need to move in 4 weeks. And then once I do move down there, I'll have a little bit of time for myself, but then we'll jump into the next group with the waitlist group. So the waitlist group is also getting the 6-week intervention, and I'll be doing that while I'm on internship and while I'm trying to analyze the data. The good part is I'll have the collected data that I need for my analyses, but I'm still needing to deliver the intervention to this other group. So it's been quite the process. I'm glad I did it. And I even remember my committee being like, this seems like, what did they say? Like, this seems ambitious, which, like, yeah, I do that sometimes. And even the project that I'm doing right now is actually not what I originally said I wanted to do in my first, not in my proposal, but in the first meeting I had with my committee. I was like, I want to do cultural adaptations and this, and this, and then based on this, I want to do that. And they were like, girl, that is like some tenured track. Wait, you don't have time for this. And I was like, okay, you're right. But I am really excited to see what the data looks like once I have it all collected, because the reason I chose to do this topic with parenting and Black parents of preschoolers is because that's an area that I'm interested in, not just in research, but also clinically. And this intervention hasn't really been used a whole lot in the United States. It was developed in Australia. There's some people who are kind of delivering it across the US, but there aren't a lot of people. And I'm really hoping to get some good information, at least from the small group of parents that I have in my dissertation. And I'd love to be able to use it clinically, you know, in my future career. So not trying to save the world or change the world with this one dissertation, but I do hope that it gives me some steps to move forward, because it's something that I think that I'd like to keep doing. But anyway, so the dissertation stuff is going fine. Another pro tip I would say is to try to write as much as you can as you're doing it. Some people will wait until they've collected all of their data before they write anything beyond what was in the original written proposal. And what I've been doing is trying to at least set up skeletons of sections. So like in my limitation section, I know what some already are. I'm not gonna write the ones I think might be limitations yet because they may end up not being, but I already know some of them. So I'm drafting some of those sections, just so it's also, you know, it's there. It's I'm not having to flip through notebooks because I do still keep my dissertation notebook, and I think I actually need a new one for this upcoming um, year, this last leg. Um, but it's really helpful in making sure that when I am ready to like actually put in the results and the analyses and flesh out the discussion, flesh, flush, flesh. When I'm ready to write the discussion section chapter, it's not like I'm writing every single thing from scratch. I can even write a section on my participants right now, which I will probably start doing. But just kind of setting yourself up so that once you're done with all the data, you're not spending months writing this thing, because that's where a lot of people, from what I've heard, can get stuck in writing those last 2 chapters, and I'm not trying to end up like that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share today. I think that this has been a good experience for like my research development, but also I'm glad I'm doing it. So that's all I have, and catch you next time.